You reached out to our investigative team. Why?
Because I felt helpless.
A mental health hospital under investigation.
I felt like I was being tricked, coerced into taking medication.
Alarming allegations uncovered by Denver 7 Investigates.
Your reaction to what we've heard from patients?
It's appalling.
If this sounds familiar, it should.
Breaking news, the state is shutting down a Johnstown mental health facility.
2 years later, the same location is under investigation again, but under new ownership and a new name.
Would you recommend Johnstown Heights to anybody in need of mental health care?
Never.
Denver 7 Investigates spent nearly 2 years exposing issues that led Colorado to close Clearview Behavioral Health.
Tonight, Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski is hearing from former and current patients and employees who say failures at Johnstown Heights are identical.
I think it's terrible. I think it's awful.
For the next 60 seconds, you are going to hear from patients who needed help.
What they're doing is not right. We shouldn't be held there longer than we need to be.
Candid testimonials from patients asking us to protect their identities because of the stigma surrounding mental health treatment.
I'm saying they're all about profit. They're all about doing anything to make a person stay so they can charge them more. It's just not right. It's taking advantage of everybody.
How would you describe that experience?
It was horrible. It made it worse. I expected the 72-hour hold to be recognized and implemented, and instead I was there for 7 days.
Because you wanted to stay that long?
No. I'd asked several times to go home. I was told that 7 days is the norm.
All four recently spent time at Johnstown Heights Behavioral Health, a 90-bed mental health hospital located 49 miles north of Denver.
You went there wanting to get help.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you get help?
I walked away from that experience, I feel like, with extra trauma.
The experiences patients describe don't appear to align with the promise on Johnstown Heights' website. It reads, "Compassionate care for mental health and addiction."
Did you tell doctors, administrators that you wanted to leave after your 72-hour hold?
Every day, on multiple occasions.
I did not have any evidence that he needed to be held any longer.
Susan Kitchens is a private licensed psychologist, not affiliated with Johnstown Heights. She treats patient number 2.
He says he felt like a prisoner, kept longer than he wanted to stay. What do you say to that?
I say that breaks my heart.
Based on what you now know, should state regulators take a closer look?
Absolutely.
More than 4 years ago, state regulators heard similar complaints from this same address.
I am shocked that the state of Colorado would allow this facility to be open still.
And that resulted in the shutting down of Clearview in September of 2020. Less than a year later, in the very same building, with new owners and a new name, Johnstown Heights opened for business.
Patients have essentially told us this is Clearview with a different name. Do you wonder if that's true?
It certainly appears that there are some similar practices.
Mr. Peterson, Tony Kowaleski from Denver 7. Do you have a moment? After several unreturned calls and messages, we brought the concerns of the psychologist and the testimonials of the 4 patients directly to the Chief Executive Officer of Johnstown Heights. We'd like to show you what some of your patients have had to say about the treatment in your facility. Sir, why do you continue to walk away? Isn't this important? Will you talk with us? Here's our card. Here's my card. We also wanted to know how employees would respond to what our investigation has uncovered. The card says anything I need to know, and it has my number. After the CEO closed the door on our questions, we left our business cards on more than 3 dozen cars in the parking lot.
What made you reach out?
Well, initially it was the note on everyone's cars. Anything that you need to know, I was like, well, yeah, this place is terrible. You need to know everything.
She's a current employee. She asked us to alter her voice and disguise her identity because for now, she wants to keep her job.
From what you've witnessed, what concerns you the most?
The length of stay for people. I don't think that people should be held as long as they do without seeing a doctor or a psychiatrist or anybody. I think that's the one thing that is the worst.
Just a few hours after leaving our business cards, word got out and we started getting calls from several current and former employees. We asked if what we heard from the former patients is true.
They all say they were held longer than they wanted to be held, longer than they needed to be held. Does that surprise you?
No, because I saw a lot of that.
What did you witness that state regulators need to know about?
Vastly understaffing and filling the beds when we didn't have the staff to cover it, which is extremely dangerous not only to the patients themselves, but to the staff as well.
And employees also shared this internal email with Denver 7 Investigates. It was sent by the executive assistant for CEO Sean Peterson, just a few hours after we met the CEO in the parking lot. It includes, because of previous issues with the former facility, Johnstown Heights and its employees may be contacted by members of the media. It continues, we ask that you don't answer any questions. And it includes, if you are pressed to answer questions, you can say we are too busy providing great patient care and are unable to answer any questions at this time.
When you got that email from the CEO's office, what did you think?
I thought it was a little bit insulting that he didn't have anything else to say about why the news was at our facility leaving business cards on our cars. And instead he just told us to let everyone know we're giving excellent patient care.
A message we clearly did not hear from 4 different patients, a licensed psychologist, and 3 current and former employees. Instead, their message accused Johnstown Heights of holding patients longer than necessary, making profit a priority over patient care, and vastly understaffing this mental health hospital.
As far as my understanding, as a former employee, I'm still on the schedule.
Why would they put your name on the schedule?
To show that they have staff to our state audits.
Are you saying you believe they're manipulating the staffing numbers?
I do. I've seen it.
What do you hope comes from this interview?
Genuinely, I hope that Johnstown Heights gets shut down.
After learning of our investigation, the Colorado Department of Public Health sent a statement saying it is currently investigating patient care concerns at Johnstown Heights. And that statement also included if a patient, family member, staff member, or member of the community has any current concerns about the facility, they are encouraged to file a complaint with CDPHE. We have attached a link to the state's website at denver7.com. Finally, a couple updates for you. Sean Peterson did take my business card, but he has not called. And the current employee in our report has just informed us she has quit her job, saying the working conditions were unbearable. We will have more in the coming days. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski.
Alarming allegations, sexual assault, filthy conditions, and dangerous understaffing, all at a mental health hospital north of Denver.
Prisons are offering better care than Johnstown Heights.
Denver 7 Investigates exposing more concerns from veteran nurses.
Everything about that place is wrong. Just want somebody to do something about it.
Tonight, they're calling on state regulators to step in.
Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski breaking down the details for us.
I have never, ever seen a place like this.
He's a veteran nurse. He spent 6 weeks inside this hospital, hoping to help.
It's not acceptable. It's not right. There's a lot of people, a lot of good people can get hurt. And I don't think making money is worth it.
What was the priority at Johnstown Heights?
Money. They're prioritizing money over patient care.
She is also a veteran nurse.
It's dangerous for staff. It's dangerous for the other patients.
She spent more than 6 months working inside the 92-bed mental health hospital. Because she fears speaking out could prevent her from getting a job, she asked us to disguise her identity.
There's a problem, a big problem, and that it's not being addressed.
What made you decide to reach out to our team?
In 40 years of nursing, I have never seen a facility like this. And if something isn't done to change the way that facility is managed, people are going to get hurt, staff, patients could die.
Both admitting during lengthy interviews that the staffing shortages, increased dangers, and a failure by senior leadership to prioritize patient care all contributed to their decisions to resign.
You know, they're being warehoused. They're being kept there longer than they need to be because they want the heads in beds. They want the facility filled. They want the insurance money.
I saw a lot of scared people there. Sexual assaults happened about once a week. Assaults happened about once a week or once every other day. I was assaulted while I was there. It's a mess.
And both nurses reached out last month after hearing our initial report, where patients and mental health techs raised serious concerns.
What they're doing is not right. We shouldn't be held there longer than we need to be.
It's just not right. It's taking advantage of everybody.
From what you've witnessed, what concerns you the most?
The length of stay for people. I don't think that people should be held as long as they do without seeing a doctor or a psychiatrist or anybody.
You saw the facts we reported. From your experience, were they accurate?
Yes, absolutely.
I thought your reporting was spot on. The patients were not being seen by the doctor. They were not going to group sessions. They were not going to counseling. They were not getting care other than multiple medications. They were just being housed.
The docs would come in and write orders for medications for patients that they had never spoken to, had never seen. They would change medications for patients that they've never treated, cared for, spoken to.
After learning of Denver 7's investigation, the state's Department of Health announced that it was launching its own investigation into Johnstown Heights.
Do you think state regulators have any idea the truth behind the doors of Johnstown Heights?
No, I never saw housekeeping in 6 weeks. So the rooms just stayed filthy and nasty. You open the rooms and the odor is horrendous. Urine or whatever else was on the floors. And when one patient got discharged, they just changed the sheet and another patient took its place.
Both nurses also questioned the integrity of inspections by the state.
Whenever they had state come in, they would staff up. They'd call people in and say, you know, it's all hands on deck. Everybody's got to be here. So it appeared to the state that they were fully staffed.
What's the truth?
They were not. Nowhere near.
In the end, courageous testimonials from 2 veteran nurses, now hoping to force state regulators to dig deeper.
Is this a wake-up call to the leadership at Johnstown Heights?
If they haven't had a wake-up call by now, I don't know what would wake them up. If they don't make changes now, this is greed to the top.
Both nurses told us they raised their issues with senior leaders before they resigned. And back in October, we did meet with Johnstown Heights CEO Sean Peterson as he arrived for work. We wanted to make him aware of the serious concerns raised by patients and members of his staff. He took our business card and promised to call. That was 6 weeks ago. We've made other calls and still no call back. Finally, we will follow up on the state's ongoing investigation. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski.